Okay, this question basically is looking at logs, log base 10, how to solve questions using log base 10. The initial setup is basically to solve this equation here for log base 10. If you look at the question, it looks similar to our other questions, except that instead of being x here, it's up here in the factor. So we want to try and simplify it somehow. And look at the way it's written. It's 9 to the power of x minus 6 times 3 to the power of x plus 8. So if you look at it, 9 to the power of x is similar to 3 to the power of x because 9 to the power of x is the same thing as 3 squared power of x minus 6 times 3. So how can you try and use substitution to make that in the quadratic equation? So if you just switch these back and forth, it's the same thing. So 3x power of 3x squared minus 6 times x plus 8 equals 0. So on both, we have 3x, 3 to the power of x. So if you make 3 to the power of x equal to y, you have y squared minus 6y plus 8 equals 0. So again, you're trying to look at this question, figure out a way to make it into a quadratic equation. And you see from the 3x's here, similar to the 9x, we're going to make this a squared to the power of 1 in the regular number. So with this formula here, so then you've got y squared minus 6y plus 8 equals 0. That you can then put into the formula. Again, this is b is a negative 6 right here, and it's a negative b, so it's negative 6 equals positive 6. So possible solutions for y, and 4, 2. So we have y here, y is equal to 3 to the power of x. When you're working with 3 to the power of x, we're try and get this x here into the front or bring it down into the question, into the equation, make it x equal something. The easiest way to do it is by using log 10. So we have 3 to the power of x equals 4, 3 to the power of x equals 2. Now the easiest way to bring log base 10 into this question is just multiply both sides by log base 10. Since they're both equal, log base 10 on both sides, you multiply both sides by the same thing, it doesn't change the equation, they're still equal. You're adding a new factor, but it doesn't really change the equation. So 3 power of x equals 4 is the same thing as log base 10, 3 to the power of x equals log base 10 all you're doing is multiplying both sides by the same thing. Okay, now we're looking at a log. If there's a number here, or any kind of coefficient here, it's just the same thing to put it out here. So it's x log base 10, 3, log 10, 4. So x goes log base 10, 4 over log base 10, 3. Since he's just saying express it in terms of log base 10, that's your first answer. So do the same thing here. Multiply both sides, log base 10. And again, let's go outside of the equation. X log 10, 3. Your solution. Basically, all you're trying to, the only complication in this question is the starting point. You should get the starting point into the quadratic formula and find solutions for y, which you can then make equal to 3 to the power of x. You can then just bring in the log base 10 to bring this x down, back into it, and have x equals something. So again, the reason why you're using log base 10 is you want to get the x out of the coefficient here, back into the equation. Which you've done, so you have x equals something. Like the question says, express your answers in terms of log 10. Okay, for this question you've got cos 2a equals the number. What's asking is to find this in terms of this. So how can you relate cos 2a to cos a? If you look at your notes, there should be numerous different formulas for cos, tan, theta, sine. So a lot of different ways they relate and different ways they work together. So look at your, you can't memorize them, there's a lot of them, just be familiar with them. So you're trying to look at all of these different ways of how they interact, what equals what, and try and find at least 1 or 2 steps that can get you to cos A from cos 2A. Might be easier as well if you do it in reverse. So look at what does cos A equal? That might contain something that will then equal the cos 2A. Okay. So we look at the notes, you see that cos 2A is equal to 2 cos squared minus 1. So we have cos 2a equals 2 cos squared minus 1. You want to try and get this. You want the cos. So if you're looking at this using basic math, you can get rid of the 1, you can get rid of the square, you can get rid of the 2. That'll leave you with cos. Just a bit of basic math. So we know that this is equal to negative 7 over 9. Therefore, x over 9 equals 2 cos squared a minus 1. Let's write that down. So we just want to get rid of the first things first, the easiest one to do. Get rid of the 1 here. Bring that over here. So negative 1. We brought it over to the other side. It was a positive 1. So it's 1 minus 7 over 9. 2 cos squared. Okay. So this is going to give you 9 equals 2 cos A. This thing is just rid of the 2 here. So the easiest way to get rid of 2 is to divide both sides by 2. Again, keeping both sides equal, you just do the same thing you do to one side, do to the other. So 2 cos squared A divided by 2 would be cos squared A, and 2 over 9 divided by 2, and multiply it. Numerated by 2 is 2 over 18 cos squared A. Now, so one more thing to get rid of. I want to get rid of the square here. Best way to get rid of the square is to do square root. But if you're doing the square root on one side, it's the square root on the other side. So obviously the square root of cos 2a, cos squared a is going to be cos a, and square root of 2 over 18. So now that we've got the square root here, like we did in class before in the last one of our other tutorials, 2 you can't get a square root, that's as low as it's going to get. But 18, what are the factors of 18? 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Of those, the largest one that you can actually get a square root through pretty easily in your head is 9. And that's 3 times 3. So, I'm going to over here. Square root of 2 over 2 plus a. So, this gives you square root of 2 over since the square root of 9 is 3, 3 goes outside of the square root. So again, 2 over square root over square root 2 is going to be equal to 1. So we just cancel those out. 1 over 3 equals cos a. Okay, so we've gone from cos 2a, finding a relationship that you can break down to what is required. So if we call cos 2a cos a, we know this relationship exists based on the notes. Cos 2a equals 2 cos squared a minus 1. We know that also equals this. So then use just basic math to try and break this down so that it comes to just pull up the cos to get the answer he wants. After you do your calculations, cos a equals 1/3.